April 19th, 1775. A cold morning mist clings to a quiet green in Massachusetts. On one side, 77 farmers, shopkeepers, and blacksmiths holding muskets in trembling hands. On the other, hundreds of soldiers of the most powerful empire on earth. A single shot cracks the silence. No one knows who fired it, but that echo will thunder across the world. It is the birth cry of a new nation. This is Historia Arc, where the fight for freedom is told in fire and steel. To understand why these men faced death that morning, we must look back. The British Empire, triumphant after the French and Indian War, controlled half a continent. But victory came at a staggering price. London demanded the colonies share the burden. Taxes were imposed on paper, on tea, on nearly every item of daily life. To Parliament, it was fairness. To Americans, it was tyranny. In Boston, tension exploded. Snowballs and stones hurled at British troops. Muskets fired. 5 colonists fell dead. Samuel Adams called it a bloody massacre. His words spread like fire through the colonies. A new idea was taking root.
This distant rule is not merely harsh, it is illegitimate.
3 years later, defiance became open rebellion. Sons of Liberty stormed ships in Boston Harbor, heaving 342 chests of tea into the sea. Britain responded with punishment, closing the harbor, stripping Massachusetts of its liberties. But instead of breaking resistance, the crackdown united the colonies. For the first time, they spoke with one voice.
This was the genius and the mistake of the British policy. Every attempt to discipline the colonies only convinced them that freedom could be won only by resistance. Rebellion was no longer a question of if, but when.
But protest would soon turn into war. April 18th, 1775. General Thomas Gage orders 700 redcoats to march from Boston to Concord to seize colonial weapons. The plan: swift, secret, decisive. But secrecy dies in the American night.
The regulars are coming out!
The alarm spreads like wildfire. Bells toll. Muskets are snatched from mantles. By dawn, the first battle line of the Revolution forms. 77 militiamen, led by Captain John Parker, stand trembling before hundreds of British troops. Parker tells his men,
"Stand your ground, men. Don't fire unless fired upon. But if they want war, let it begin here."
A single shot cracked the silence. Chaos followed. Smoke filled the air. 8 colonists fall dead. The redcoats thought it was over.
Charge!
After Lexington, they marched on toward Boston, certain they had taught the rebels their lesson, but they were wrong. From Lexington to Concord, the rebellion strikes back. News had spread like wildfire. From every town, men dropped their tools and grabbed their muskets. By midday, nearly 2,000 militia had gathered, not in one great army, but scattered all along the countryside, ready to strike. They did not wait on the open field. Instead, they hid behind stone fences, inside farmhouses, and in the thick woods. 2,000 militia fired from all directions. A British soldier later wrote, "We were fired on from all sides and found it impossible to know where the enemy lay." Packs were thrown away, discipline broke down, and men stumbled under the weight of their wounded. By nightfall, nearly 300 redcoats were killed or wounded. The revolution had begun in blood and smoke.
The world would call it the shot heard round the world. But for the men of Massachusetts, it was simply survival. A fight to defend their homes, their families, their way of life.
But this was only the beginning. Soon, the hills around Boston would blaze in a battle so fierce it shocked the world. Bunker Hill,